Your most ideal clients are waiting on you to show up and serve them with your gifts, and they can only get what they need most from you. That's a quote from today's guest that's hanging out with us in the virtual studio, WendyY Bailey, and she's here to talk to us today about 7 powerful practices to create a profitable, highly profitable business. We're excited to have her on the Sharvette Mitchell radio show, and we'll get right into it right after this quick intro. Don't you move.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Why y'all so happy?
You don't know? Sharvette Mitchell is on the radio.
It's time to get motivated, excited, and influenced. Why? It's the Sharvette Mitchell Radio Show, live from Richmond, Virginia. And now, here to motivate, excite, and influence you, Sharvette Mitchell.
Well, hello, everyone, and welcome to the Sharvette Mitchell Radio Show, broadcasting live from the capital city of Richmond, Virginia, but heard and seen all across the World Wide Web. We are so honored to have you joining us here because the goal of the show is to motivate, excite, and influence. And I know today's topic is going to do that for all of our listeners that are tuning on in. Shout out to everyone that's coming in live from all across 3 different places in Facebook. We know that the system is sending you notifications, reminding you to come on and listen in. Shout out to those that are watching from YouTube, from LinkedIn, from Twitter. Even if you're listening later to the podcast version or to Blog Talk Radio, we are super excited that you took a moment out and put us into your schedule to be a part of the Sharvette Mitchell Radio Show. And then certainly those that faithfully hang out at sharvette.com. We are excited to have you. Listen, we see our guests are lining on up. Hello, let's shout out a few people. Hello, Monique. Thank you for joining us. Hello, Wendy Lee, all the way from Wakanda. Listen, we see you. We see you. Hey there, my mom and my sister hanging out over on YouTube. Listen, we got the house is filling up. Yep. Love. Oh, thanks. Love the top. Thank you. So speaking of that, I'm thinking, you guys, I'm thinking about, and those that can't see, if you're listening to the podcast version, you might want to jump over to YouTube at some point so you can see my jacket. I might take a Steve Jobs or I think that Mark Zuckerberg does this, but they get rid of decision fatigue by dressing like very simply. Now, certainly this is not simple, but this might be my new uniform for the Sharvette Mitchell Radio Show. So if you see me next week and I have this top on, this jacket on, and you see me the following week, I'm just letting you know, I might eliminate some decision fatigue, and this might be the official uniform of the Sharvette Mitchell Radio Show. Hello. Thank you so much for joining us, Monique, excuse me. Hello. James coming in from Nashville, Tennessee. We are excited to have you. I see Galveston, Texas is in as well. We're excited to have you. Listen, we are going to be sharing with you today my amazing guest that's hanging out in the virtual studio, WendyY Bailey. You're going to meet her in just a moment. She's here to talk to us about 7 powerful practices to create a highly profitable business. So this segment is absolutely for our entrepreneurs, our emerging entrepreneurs. So go ahead and tag a few people. Go ahead and share this out. If you have people, and I know you do, on your timelines, in your groups, and on your pages that would benefit from this type of conversation and discussion, we invite you to go ahead and share that out. And again, welcome to all those that are coming on in. Hello, Diane. Hello, Carlithia. So let me share a little bit more about our guest so we can bring her up to the virtual mic so that you can meet her. I am telling you what, honored as a top influencer in 2020 by Success Women's Conference. WendyY Bailey is a world-class business and sales coach, an international thought leader, and a sales speaker. She's called a force of nature and a trendsetter in the coaching industry because of her fearless approach to innovation. She's been supporting entrepreneurs and coaches and consultants for more than 19 years. She has she's a 2-time best-selling author and has made a global impact in the world by coaching and serving in countries like the UK and Sweden and Spain Spain, and Italy. And WendyY is the chief visionary of Profitable Coaching Conversations, which is one of her flagship brands at Business Beyond Limits. Without further ado, coming up to the mic live on the Sharvette Mitchell Radio Show, WendyY. Welcome.
Thank you so much for having me, Sharvette. I'm honored to be here and to serve as your guest.
Yes, we're excited to have you. So, right off the top, right, we have to tell them. So, those that are looking at the flyer saying, Sharvette, you had an extra Y. You spelled her name wrong on your blog. You spelled her name wrong in iTunes. Let's share why it's WendyY. What's the background story?
Well, in June, it will be 20 years that I've been in my business. And it's so funny to me that became a brand for me. Y is the first initial of my middle name. And for the first probably about 7 or 8 years, I was doing primarily offline marketing and networking to build my business. And then when I came online and I adopted social media, there were 19 profiles or 25 profiles for WendyY Bailey on LinkedIn alone. And so I was like, okay, I got to change something. Because I had been doing live networking, there was a group that I was doing close networking with. We met every week, sort of a BNI model. We met every week, same people, one category per business. And I would always stand up and do my 60-second infomercial, and I would use my middle initial. So I would say, hey, I'm WendyY Bailey, blah, blah, blah. And a couple of people in the group started calling me that. So when I saw 25 WendyY Baileys on LinkedIn alone, I was like, okay, it's time for me to continue using that Y. And over time, we're talking 12 years, it's gotten to be a branding thing. Everybody knows me as WendyY. And I tell people, if you Google WendyY Bailey, you're going to get the musician, the attorney, the psychologist. But if you Google me, WendyY Bailey, you're going to get me all day long. All day long. Add the extra Y and you got me 3 or 4 pages.
There you go. Great branded tip already. And I love that behind the scenes. Shout out to Wendy Lee, comedian, I should preface to say.
Hey, Wendy Lee.
Some funny comments from her. And she says people are always asking her, Wendy, why? Wendy, just why? All right. So how did all of this work in this space of really leadership and sales and profit? Where did this start for you?
Well, it started for me because I had served in as a corporate manager in information technology and telecommunications. And when I was voted off the island in 2001, I just said, I can't go back into that. So predominantly a white male dominated industry. It was very much that at that time. And I was like, I don't want to go into a job where I'm going to be battered and bruised because the white boys are threatened by me every day. So I was like, okay, Lord, let me see what it is for me that you have for me. And I sort of did an inventory of what I was good at, what I had done, what I wanted to do more of. And right around the same time, Oprah was still doing her daily talk show. And she had Cheryl Richardson as a guest who talked wholly and solely about coaching. So it was an awareness that turned up for me. It came on my radar really big. I started doing research and I haven't looked back. Coaching is where all roads led for me. And I was just like, this is where I belong.
Wow. And 19 years later, history is key.
Almost 20.
Almost 20. Listen, we want to give credit. Almost 20. And so I love there's a tagline on your really the top of your website that says bigger, better, and bolder bottom lines. And talk a little bit about why you decided to help entrepreneurs kind of like, we got to look at the money, we got to look at the profits. Talk a little bit about
I've had, my business has had a number of different iterations, if you will. And at the beginning of 2016, I rebranded and relaunched as a new brand with a new focus. I had done a lot of what I still do today before that, but the focus is what came in very clearly. And I knew that I had to talk to people about how they generated income. I needed to talk to people about what things worked in their business and what things didn't. And so that's when I really, really invested in the bigger, better, bolder bottom lines and making sure it covered operations and infrastructure, sales, marketing and visibility. And, I also include in there what I call untraditional or non-traditional launch strategies. Launch just means you're presenting a program or product to the marketplace, and you don't have to do it like everyone else does. So I try to work with my clients to come up with a new way of doing it that suits their style and their brand that is effective.
That is effective. And so, almost 20 years, we're just gonna round it up, 20
Yeah,
years
yeah.
in this. What have been the ebbs and the flows and things that you have seen that have really kind of shifted the direction of what you've been doing?
Well, the first thing I'll say is I've built my business to six figures three times and lost it all twice. The
Oh,
first
wow.
time was in 2008, yeah, because of the economic downturn and the recession hit everybody, right?
Yeah.
And when I rebuilt it the second time, I lost it all at the end of 2011, but beginning of 2012 when I got really ill.
Mm.
So, I learned because of that, I have the ability in me to always increase my income. That was a lesson that I learned. And the second thing is when I built it back again at the end of 2019 during 2020 during a
Wow.
pandemic, I was like, okay, this is all about how I manage my business because I increased my fees and that made the difference to hit the six figures at that time. So those are the three lessons, make sure that you make decisions that will help you to survive any kind of economic recession. That's the first thing. The
Oh,
second
yeah.
thing, yeah, the second thing is you have no business without your health, right? That was the second
Mm,
thing that I went down.
yeah.
So making sure you're taking care of yourself. I used to burn the candle at both ends. I call myself a reformed workaholic because I'm not on that grind like I was back then that
Yeah.
led to me being sick. And then the third thing is when you're in business and your value increases, so should your fees. So
Ah,
should your fees. You don't stay at the
yeah.
same rate that you started at 3 years ago. You always have a plan for increasing your fees. And I teach my clients that you've got to be paying
Mm,
attention to that because the client who came to you 5 years ago, when they return back to you, should not be expecting to pay the exact same amount. No friends and family discount. If people want to work with you, I charge for that, or four words that I'm known for in the marketplace. So I know that's a
Okay,
lot. Yeah.
listen, we got to stick a pin right there because even if you were on a job, thinking even in a 9 to 5, most
Mhm.
people assume at least every year there's some level of increase because
Yep.
their thought is
Cost
just
of
something.
living.
Right, all
Yeah.
of that. So as
Mhm.
entrepreneurs, sometimes there's a whole lot of things that go on related to money mindset and all of that. But I love how, like, the more value you bring, then that has to be reflected in your pricing. Yes, value increases. Your value increases. Good, good, good. If you're just popping in, you're checking out the Sharvette Mitchell Radio Show. We have our guest here, WendyY Bailey, business sales coach, visionary of profitable coaching conversations. WendyY, while they're listening and watching, let them know how they can connect with you on social media.
Well, I'm WendyY Bailey everywhere on all platforms. I'm one of those people. I believe in being very clear about my branding. So on social media, you're going to find WendyY Bailey everywhere,
All
and
right.
I'm everywhere: Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, and what's the last one? YouTube. And I have two YouTube channels. One is WendyY Bailey. The other one is for the Profitable Coaching Conversation Show. But you can find me directly at my website at businessbeyondlimits.com, and you can access everything else from there.
All right, easy connection point. We have it here on the screen, and those that are listening from Sharvette.com, it is right there in the show notes. And those that may be listening from a podcast, the connection point for her website is right there in the show notes. So our topic today, 7 powerful practices to create a highly profitable business. I want to definitely capture this comment from Monique. I charge for that is the name of her book. All right. So we have Monique, who already is familiar with you. Thank you, Monique. I didn't even have to pay you for that segue.
Yeah.
So tell us about your book.
Well, I have two books.
Yes.
The first one is Business Beyond Limits: 7 Powerful Practices for Creating a Highly Profitable Business. And that's actually what I'm going to be sharing from today. My second book, I wrote because it was obvious that I was the one saying I charge for that, and teaching my clients I charge for that. So I wrote a book, and it's called I Charge for That: Mastering the Mindset for Sales Success. And I'm actually going to do a reprint of it because since I published it in 2018, I want to put so much more in it. So I'm going to do a reprint, another edition of it. And then I have 3 books that are coming out this year, 3 more books that are coming out this year. So I love
Okay,
to write.
listen.
Yeah.
Wendy Y is
Yeah.
working over
Yeah.
here. Wendy Y is
Yeah.
working over here. All right. So let's jump in. So what's number one of power? And hopefully someone who's watching live, y'all can be our scribe and type this in the comments here. But number one of the powerful practices to create a highly profitable business.
Mindset is everything. It's my
Yeah.
personal mantra because I'm telling you, if you don't have your mindset in order, you're not going to be able to do anything. Mindset is everything if you want to, create new connections and relationships with people that you want to serve or collaborate with. Mindset is everything if you want to increase your fees. Mindset is everything if you want to launch a new program or product or service. Mindset is everything. Mindset is everything. So what I tell my clients is make sure that you're fueling your mindset with the right kind of stuff like books and affirmations and
Yeah.
gratitude statements and intention statements and people who support you and believe in you and encourage you and empower you. Mindset is everything.
Oh, I love it. Mindset is everything. All right, let's keep rolling to number
Okay.
two.
Number two is to serve your way to significance. When you think of what you do every day in your business, you've got to think of service. I have been very vocal in my family about the lack of service during this pandemic.
Mm,
There are restaurants that have a grill, they close at 9, but they close the grill at 8. That doesn't make sense to me. You know what I mean?
right.
Service has to be the first priority when you are in business. And when you serve your way to significance, it means that you're making a difference in the lives of the people you serve. It's not just about giving them a product or performing a service. It really is about how you do that because it's sort of the gift that keeps giving. You
Yeah.
pay it forward. You give the gift of service. It has a significance because it doesn't stop with just that one person. How you treat your clients models how they treat their clients or the people in their lives. Serve your way to significance.
Serve your way to significance. And literally, my platform builder clients have this month's module is about visual branding, but I
Yeah.
talk about branding altogether. And the intangible part about branding, and like the third bullet on that slide is customer service. Like that
Mhm.
is a part of your
Your
brand,
brand.
service
Yeah.
delivery. So I love that. Let's keep on moving. Let's keep on moving.
Well, we talked about this one, but I'll share it again. I charge for that.
Yeah.
Understand that what you offer has value, and that value requires that you charge and set a fee for that. Somebody doesn't need to believe they can pick your brain. I've had people come to me and they have words like affordable in their brand stuff. And I'm like, stop saying that. They have a low cost, you don't want to be known as low cost or affordable. You want
No.
people to recognize that what you offer has high value and you deserve to be compensated for the value you offer. So
Yeah.
I charge for that.
I charge for that. All right.
Mhm.
Get used to that. And I encourage viewers and listeners, if you maybe you find that difficult to say, at least practice typing it out. So type it in the chat.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Breathe, type it. I charge for that. Just type that a couple times as much as you want, and that'll help you. All right.
I'm
Number
gonna tell you
four.
before we move
Yeah.
on,
Yeah.
Monique is somebody that we have talked about that a lot. I know Monique, I see you. And it's because, when you first get into the first couple of years of your business, sometimes it's people who have been in their businesses 5 or 10 years, but
Yeah.
you think of yourself differently when you recognize the I charge for that mindset. It's I
Yeah.
have value. What I do offers value to my clients, and I deserve to be compensated for that value.
Yeah, yeah. I love that. And it's the value of what you bring to the table. And I was reading something where sometimes people will feel like their personal
Mhm.
worth is attached to the product. And you are priceless. We are
There you
priceless.
go. There you
We are
go. That's what I
priceless.
was
So
just about to
what you
say.
are worth as a person is not even doesn't really have anything to
Mhm.
do with your product. It's with the
Mhm.
value and the results. So we are
And
on the same
value, I'm
page.
gonna go to the next one, but
Yeah.
value is everything counts. Value is all of your experience, all of your education, all of your knowledge, all of what you've learned that has brought you to this point is value. So let me go to number 4.
Yeah.
Turn followers into fans to create consistent cash flow. that goes back to that customer service in a way,
Yeah.
because the happier you make your followers, the happier they are in working with you, the more they're going to refer people to you. I've had people pop up in my clubhouse rooms and come onto the stage and say, Wendy, why didn't ask me to do this, but I want to tell you the way she is and why you need to work with her. I don't ask for that. I appreciate
Yeah.
when I get it. So that's what you want. You want your followers to become fans of what you do. And because of that, they will pay for what you offer. They're the first people in line when you launch a product, when you open the doors for something. That's how you turn consistent followers into consistent cash flow. I didn't say it right, but you get the idea.
Yes.
Consistent cash flow. Yeah.
Yes. And listen, Clubhouse, because you've been faithfully,
Mhm.
like you are ride or die with Clubhouse. You
Yeah.
have been faithful. So share a little bit if you have your next Clubhouse that's coming up and how they can follow you.
Yeah, my next clubhouse is actually coming up in about 30 minutes. It's 7
Okay.
p.m. Eastern. And if you go to profitablecoachingclub.com, that'll take you directly to my club on Clubhouse, and you'll see the events, and you can actually set a reminder for when I go live, when our rooms are, and join us. Tonight, I'm
Okay.
actually talking about getting back to business after my mom's passing.
Yeah.
So, believe it or not, it sounds like I'm going to be on there sharing personal stuff, and I am, but I've got
Mhm.
some content prepared for people. I
Wow.
believe that, there's a lesson in everything. So I'm sharing the lessons that I've learned over the last, 7 to 8 days, I think it's been now.
Yeah, and so we want to pause and certainly just honor you for being here. I just want to let the listeners know I saw, on social media, and I reached out and said, "Hey, we can push the interview back. We can do another date." And so you so graciously said my mom would want me to keep going, so we are here. So I just wanted to. I didn't want to bring it up. I wanted to,
Yeah.
let you lead with that.
Yeah, it's
So
fine. It's fine.
yeah,
I
yeah,
tell people that there's purpose in everything. And my mom was 90 years old. She lived a really good full life, and I'm just grateful that she's no longer in pain and suffering. So
yeah.
yeah, she would want me to keep moving and do what I do. Number
Oh,
5,
yes.
transform your tribe. Transform your
Ooh,
tribe. Maya Angelou said, people will forget what you say, they'll forget what you do, but they'll never forget how you made them feel. So
yeah,
as you are thinking about how you connect with people on social media, what kind of relationship building efforts you make when you're talking to people offline via networking, via partnerships, via other kinds of things, you
yeah.
have to be the one who helps people to be better because of their interaction with you. That's what I mean by transform your tribe. It is your job to leave people better than they were before they came to you.
Yes, and I don't care if you're selling watermelon on the corner
Mhm.
or a
That's right.
transformational $20,000 pack. Transformation is you're selling a T-shirt. Transformation is all the way around, all the way.
Yeah,
Thank you, Miss
everything.
McDonald. Excuse me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Number 6, cash in on your connections. What
Uh,
that means is you've got to recognize that relationships are everything, everything,
yes.
everything, right? Just like mindset is everything, relationships matter at the highest level. And what you do when you cash in on your connections is you leverage the connections you have to create partnerships and alliances and people who support you and who you can support. I'm going to be, I had to reschedule my event. And because I'm rescheduling it, I'm making the event a live event in concert with my 20th business anniversary.
Oh, wow.
And one of the things that I was real clear on before I got to reschedule it was there were people who were waiting on me to tell them about it so that they could help me fill the seats and promote it and support me
Mm,
because I've done the same thing for them.
yeah,
So
yeah, that's
cash in
powerful.
on your connections, but you've got to honor the relationships and be very compassionate and cooperative and caring in how you handle your connections, and that ends up really paving a good thing for you. Number
Yeah.
7, master the secrets for soulful selling. Nobody wants a
Ah,
used car person in a plaid jacket, that kind of persona coming at them. You
yeah.
want to help people, you want to serve people. And when you approach anything you offer in that regard, it's not about commission breath, as a friend of mine calls it. It really
Mm,
is about them understanding that you respect their needs and you're coming to them based on their needs. Quick story. I'm sort of a well, I'm old. Let me say it that way. I remember I remember Miracle on 34th Street, the original one in black and white that they
Uh-huh.
colorized. And the Santa was actually sending people that came into Macy's to the competitor to buy stuff. And at first, people were like, "What are you doing? You're sending people to another store." But the president, Mr. Macy, said, "Wow, we're seeing because we're doing that." They put together a catalog and they were like, "We don't have it, but go to Gimbals and you can get it at Gimbals." That's what I mean.
Yeah.
When you are focused on making sure the client is the person you most want to serve, it's not just about you. It's not just about you pushing your goods or your wares or your services. It really is about what you're doing to care for the customer. And people appreciate that soulful selling when they do business with you because they'll come back.
Yeah, so well said. Yeah.
So that's seven.
All right, we got one more. We're gonna do this, Wendy Y. We're gonna
Okay.
leave them with the cliffhanger. We got a quick commercial break, so you can't
Okay.
move because you got to get the last one, y'all. So we're gonna let you take a breath in a rest in the virtual background studio here, and we are going to a quick commercial break. This segment has been brought to you by one of my great tools for you. If you're saying, what is the next step with my brand? What's the next step I should be taking in the direction of my brand? I want you to take this complimentary quiz, mybrandquiz.biz, mybrandquiz.biz. Once you answer the quiz, you're going to get resources that are tailored to and targeted to where you are actually finding yourself in your journey to your brand. All right, quick commercial, and we'll be back. Imagine what it would feel like to throw a spotlight on your business and draw attention to the great services you offer. Picture having the tools and strategies to elevate the marketing of your business. That's the mission of Mitchell Productions. We consult with women entrepreneurs and a few lucky men to help them get more customers by focusing on their visibility, their marketing, and their branding. In working with us, our clients generate more revenue and increase their brand awareness. We do this in a couple of ways with consulting services, the Platform Builder Group Coaching Program, pop-up conferences, book collaborations, and the Sharvette Mitchell Radio Show. Hi, I'm Sharvette Mitchell, your online marketing strategist, your overwhelm eliminator, your platform builder, and your confidence igniter. Let's schedule a meet and greet call so that we can accelerate your marketing. All right. Welcome back. And again, you can certainly find out more about me if you're hanging out at Sharvette.com. Go to the About page, or you can check out Mitchell-Productions.com. All the information is in our show notes and on the show page. Listen, I said we were leaving y'all at a cliffhanger. The cliffhanger is the recap. So I'm bringing WendyY Bailey back up so she can recap for us. Because some of you came in at different times. You're like, oh, wait a minute, I missed some pieces.
Yeah.
So let's recap, WendyY.
Thank you so much, Sharvette. The thing I want folks to know is I gave you the names of the 7 chapters in my first book, Business Beyond Limits. So you'll find it on my website. Sharvette already gave you the URL for that, and it's in the show notes. But let me just go over each of the 7. The first one is mindset is everything. You've got to fuel your mindset, feed it with positive everything, relationships, conversations, gratitude statements, affirmations, whatever it is that keeps you at your highest level possible is what you want to do. Mindset is everything. Number 2, serve your way to significance. It means recognizing that what you're doing is not just impacting one person in front of you. You're really preparing them to go and change the world and ultimately make the world a better place. That's your job. Number 3, I charge for that. That is a mindset. That is a way of thinking and being. It says that you recognize the value you bring to what you offer in the way of products, programs, and services have value, and you deserve to be compensated for that value. Value means everything counts: your experience, your education, your knowledge. Everything you ever did has prepared you in some way to serve your clients today and support them through your business. Number 4, turn followers into fans to create consistent cash flow. You do that by making sure that you're serving people, that you are always offering opportunities to connect with you, to invest in working with you. And the better you are at providing service and standing behind what you do in a favorable way, the more consistency you create in terms of cash flow, because people will come back to you and they will refer others to you as well. Number five, transform your tribe. Leave people different, better than they were before they came to you. Make sure that you're focused on pouring into people in a way that reflects how much you care about them. And because you care about them, there's a transformation that takes place for them. Number six, cash in on your connections. Make sure that you are making connections and you understand that you don't do stuff for free. When you cash in on your connections, you're building partnerships and alliances that help you to increase your bottom line. And then finally, master the art, the secrets to soulful selling. Treat people like you care about them in your selling, because when you do, you can sell them more, you can sell them at higher fees. People don't always care what the fee is if they know what they're going to get as a result of working with you. That's the seven.
All right, there we have it. Thank you so much for all the viewers and the listeners that are throwing up hearts and making comments that this was awesome. Thank you so much. I know that there are people who are chewing on the nuggets of all of what you've said. And one more time, share how people can connect with you online and also work with you.
Okay. WendyY Bailey, make sure you include the extra Y. I'm on all platforms. You can go to businessbeyondlimits.com and you can find all of my stuff there. I also offer an opportunity for you to connect with me for 15 minutes at no cost. You can go to growwithwendy.com. Growwithwendy.com. Thank you so
Oh,
much for having me, Sharvette.
absolutely, absolutely. And my last question, because the goal of the show is to motivate, excite, and influence. And we want to know what continues to motivate WendyY Bailey.
I am really big on freedom. Uh, I've created a lifestyle of freedom for myself. When my
Yeah.
mom was ill and I became her caretaker, I was able to step back from my business in a big way to be one of her caregivers along with one of my siblings. And I believe that freedom is something you get to create when you're a business owner, when you're an entrepreneur. So,
Yeah.
stop grinding if you're not comfortable with it and start creating freedom for yourself so that you can build in those experiences, those memories, those moments with your loved ones and the people you care about. And that continues to help you stay motivated in your business.
All right. Well, thank you again. Have a great night on Clubhouse and
Thank
what
you.
else you're going to have going on. And we look forward to just keeping our eye on you all across the interwebs and the internet.
Awesome. Thank you again.
Thank you. All right. I know, listeners, that this is a show that you're going to probably come back to and say, I need to rewind and hear that again. It really ties into one of her first one or two tips around making sure you're feeding your mindset the things that will keep you going on the right path. Certainly, we want to remind you again that this segment is proudly brought to you by one of our tools and resources that we have for those that are listening and watching. If you're thinking about where am I on my brand journey, or what is the next step, the immediate next step that I should be taking to work on my brand and build my platform, I have an awesome tool for you to use. Jump over to mybrandquiz.biz, not .com, not .org, mybrandquiz.biz. Take this cool, fun quiz, and then you will get targeted resources based on off of how you answer that quick quiz, and it'll help you on your brand journey. So we're excited to have that resource and tool. Thank you for all of the viewers and the listeners. Hey, Eartha, thank you for stopping in. Thank you, Tammy. Thank you, Wendy. Yes, I love it. Create freedom. Absolutely. There are connection points if you're at sharvette.com, show notes, iTunes, places like that, where we have the connection points for connecting with WendyY, so you can continue to do that. Hello, Ayana. Thanks for popping on in. It is a wrap for the Sharvette Mitchell Radio Show. We are always honored that you spend time with us, and we're going to see you all later on the web. Bye.
Live from Richmond, Virginia, you've been listening to the Sharvette Mitchell Radio Show. Catch Sharvette Mitchell every Tuesday at 6 p.m., interviewing all the stars you want to hear from. So until next week, stay motivated, excited, and influenced. This is the Sharvette Mitchell Radio Show.